Good evening. Oh, excuse me. Good evening. Hope everybody had a good week. I'm going to start this week off by going over last week's assignments and make sure that nobody had any questions. But since nobody's actually online right now, please go back and look at the comments that I posted on your discussion. I was really looking for you all to. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I've got my video off because I'm not someplace where I've got good bandwidth.
Oh, okay. It's fine. It's totally fine.
So,
I'm actually in the car, so that's fine. I might actually just put you down and drive, and then we can just talk.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Just
Okay.
be careful driving. That's all.
Yeah. It's like raining cats and dogs here, so I definitely got to be careful. I actually just put my daughter in my mom's car because my tires not being, good. So, but how are you?
I'm doing great. Back in Atlanta where it's nice and warm, and we started back from our spring break today, so that was fun. Let's put it that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish it was warm here. It's about 42 degrees and it's storming, passing up. So
It'll get better.
Yeah, take the good with the bad. I mean, the bad with the good.
That was good, yeah. Yeah. So I won't. I mean, it's 75 here. It's going to be 80 here tomorrow. It's going to be great. And the worst part is tomorrow's my long teaching day, so I'll be stuck inside.
You don't even get to enjoy it. No. Yeah. I think that might be worse than being stuck inside and it's really, really nice weather out.
Yeah. Well, here's what it is.
Yeah. I guess we're going to be the only ones again this week.
That's fine. As long as people, are logging on and listening or watching, later, it's fine. Okay. The only problem is if they've got a question that we don't cover, then
one more time. The only problem what?
The only problem is if they've got a question on something that we don't cover, they've got to contact me, individually. But that's fine.
Gotcha.
So the first. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I try to read through everything like on Sundays. And so I was reading through like the PR campaign project, and it was saying that we needed to conduct advanced research and then do the goals and objectives with the sign. But I was my mind kind of racing because remember I asked you about doing the individual, doing my best friend. He's an NFL draft prospect, so he's not necessarily an organization, but we're actually creating an entire brand and image for him right now.
Right.
And so with conducting research, I'm kind of trying to figure out how to do that and what elements of research would I put in my assignment for the week, since he's not necessarily an organization. Like, we're actually meeting tomorrow at 1 because I already created his mission statement, his vision statement. We're going to actually go over goals tomorrow. His pro day is today and on Wednesday. And then I have, I'm supposed to be creating a website here within the next month or two, but it might make me speed up the process to create a website. And I already I'm going to write a news release on his, I'm actually not going to take the highway, sorry. A news release on his pro days after Wednesday. So I just didn't know if I should put those kind of things in there, or what exact kind of research are you looking for?
Well, in this piece, the research that I'm looking for, which may not really apply a whole lot to this because you already know this person, but like it would be like the background on the company, the products and services, and what the actual campaign is about. And then within that, really the different publics that you're trying to reach with the campaign.
Gotcha. Okay. And so with that, I guess we are going to do. I was telling him because it needed to be like a campaign, and I kind of compared it to almost like an NBA cares kind of type of thing. He could do something like that within the city and do outreach, or create because he's creating a brand for himself, but at the same time we can, I guess, stem a campaign from his brand, and that would get his name out there and kind of shed a positive light on who he is beyond football, off the field. So I guess I could do research. Like, I know we're supposed to be doing interviews and stuff, so I guess I could put whatever information I get from the interview, even though, like I said, I already know him, and just kind of treat it as if I don't know him, and put that kind of information in, and then, like you said, make an actual campaign of some sort, like create that, and I guess do research on that, or what we would do on that. I'm a little.
Well, you're on the right track. You really are, because that's what has to happen. Really with any campaign. The big thing is, what are the.
Sorry, can you hear me? You're kind of cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, I've got you.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the big things that you would need to know are, what are the goals? What do you want to accomplish?
Right.
And what I say is when you write the goals, to make sure that they're SMART goals. Specific.
Yep. Yeah.
Specific. So you know that stuff.
Yeah.
But along with that, so when you have the goals, that really will kind of lead the research where to what you need to find out.
Okay.
The second piece of that, though, is the publics that you want to reach with the campaign. That's really the piece of the research that I'm going to focus the most on.
Okay.
The other stuff you have to know, and that's really kind of individual to each person and each project that they're doing. So I'll look at that and I'll go over that and I'll make suggestions and comments. But I'm really going to be looking at the idea of of the publics that you're trying to reach.
Okay, so now, like, with the public, so say, like, we've already, I've already had him create a list of, like, stakeholders, and people who are really detrimental to this process and to his brand. And so, like, on the list would be, like, family and friends, but then at the same time, it was, like, like the city of Columbus, because he, from Columbus, he played football in Columbus, so, he really is a representation of Columbus. And so that would be one of them. And then, but when you say public, do you mean, like, say we do, like I said, like, I don't know, his name's Billy, so, like, say Billy Cares or whatever, something like that. And he's trying to reach, the youth football players. They would be a public, right?
Correct.
And then maybe, like, trying to, how I already wrote a newsletter for him, because we want to reach, like, we want to maybe possibly get him a news story, like a Channel 10 news story. And then, like, maybe, and I wrote a press release for it to go in the paper. Those are all publics I can put down, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure that that's where it is. And then, like, also, even though the campaign is not geared toward the NFL, would the NFL be considered a public because we're trying to shed light on who he is and get attention from, like, I guess, NFL teams and recruiters and stuff like that?
Yes, and you kind of touched on it. So like with the NFL, you're talking about the teams, you're talking about the coaches, the general managers, the owners, the scouts, and
right, the scouts. Okay.
And so being as specific as we can, because the more specific we are, the better we're going to be able to create the messages to actually target those individual people or those individual groups of people, not necessarily individual people, but the individual groups of people.
Groups of people. Gotcha. So maybe do some research on, like, I'm just trying to get him an idea, because I know I can go, like, I can do way too much sometimes. I don't want to be, like, super extra, because I know it's supposed to be, like, 2 to 3 pages, but, like, I can maybe research on communication with, managers, or how to, like, what they look for in athletes, or when you say research on them, what do you mean?
No, we don't need that. Really, I just need to know, and I don't want this, written as a paper.
Okay.
I don't think that the directions are really kind of get to what I'm
clear.
looking for.
Yeah.
This is something that can be done more in bullet form, right? So, you know, I lost my train of thought. So,
So
so
you
like,
said this is something they can. What was the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
yeah, so it's not necessarily at this stage what types of information, but who they are and how we would communicate with them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So just listing them right now, and then you said like how I would be able to reach them or communicate with them.
Yeah, how they get their information.
How to get their information. Okay.
You know, so like
And then,
as an example, if you're dealing with you know, media is a general public, but within the media we've got broadcast media, we've got we got radio, we have TV, we have internet, and we have print. The way we're going to communicate with each of those different, you know, subsections of media is going to be different as well.
gotcha. So like how I wrote a press release or like a basically like an article to go into a paper that's specifically for the newspaper, and then I'll write like a press release for, so that's a news release, and then I'll write a press release for the actual like I guess news or broadcaster, so they can put it actually like on film and like, come out and film him.
Right. I mean, yeah. So I mean, it could be a fact sheet. It could be a a one pager, one page bio.
Right.
You know, so how we communicate with each individual public is different. So that's part of the research too.
Okay. All right. I'm kind of starting to get a much better idea. Like you said, that assignment on the dashboard, it's kind of very broad. And that's, I'm like, wait, what? I don't know what this is the deal. So I just needed clarification. Especially since it's kind of a really unique project versus doing, or actual organizations and individuals. But
right.
That. Any questions? I forgot you said to text you, and so I'm like, man, I was looking for your response, and then I found that paper, and I'm like, oh, I was supposed to text him. Like, it'll probably take a little while if I message you. So, but if I have any questions, I will just message or text you, and I think I should be good. And then the discussion is just basically giving a broad introduction of what our project is going to be, our organization selection, and then what we're going to do.
Yeah, I'm pulling that piece right now. It's just kind of an overview of what you plan on doing.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, that's much easier than the discussion we did last week. But, I mean, it was easy. This is a lot less expensive. But,
yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. I can do all of that.
Okay. So for just for everybody else that's not on here, again, please make sure that your goals are SMART goals, specific, they're measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And don't forget to make sure that you're really addressing the different public and how you're going to be communicating with them or how they get their information. That's really a couple of things I'm really going to be looking.
Okay, and then do you want the 2 to 3 pages?
Not really. I don't want this to be a narrative. It should be, when we do these types of campaigns, in reality, they're not academic papers. They're not written like that. They're, they're bulleted. They're things that people can just pick up and read and follow without necessarily having to read paragraph after paragraph after paragraph.
Read through paragraphs and stuff. So we can really do it almost like bullet style, like kind of list what the publics are, and then once we list that public, just kind of tell how we're going to do it, so it's easier for you to read.
Yes. Think about it from the standpoint,
kind of like how I did for the discussion post, how I did for each one.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the time, the people that actually create the campaigns aren't the ones that implement the campaigns.
Right.
So they basically create the document or create the campaign, and they pass it off to those people that are going to be doing it. And again, it's not a it's not a narrative. It's not a it's written, but it's not a written paragraph document
It's
most
not a
times.
story.
Right. Right. Okay.
You're not going to sit there and read a whole story. It's not like a book.
Correct.
It
Correct.
should be clear and concise so you can pick out, the important pieces and not have to read through everything to get the kind of the main idea of it.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Okay.
But, well, that's all the questions I had. Like I said, if I have any more, I will definitely message you or text you. But, yeah, I think I'm good for the week.
Awesome. Well, then that's all I've got, and I'll talk to you next week.
Thank you so much.
All right, you take care. Drive safe.
I will.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.